Hello, welcome to another edition of the Eternal Journey. I am That Resolves, and this is a Feast on Feln. And although I have probably covered Feln to death on this channel, I do feel like after the ladder reset that this is probably a reasonable place to be. As I haven't seen much in the way of Sphere decks, but I have seen a lot of Skycrag and sort of small fire-based decks, and small fire-based decks don't like a lot of things that are going on in our deck, because we do have the Feln Bloodcaster, which is just a brick wall for a lot of these decks, and also the Hailstorm, which means that our wall is able to survive through it and block whatever they play next, and that's just a really nice spot to be in. As well as just having a bunch of like spot removal and just card draw and filtering with the Strategizes, and if you're able to survive long enough, then the Black Sky Harbinger will be able to just get the job done, just popping off all the Oni Ronins and Pyre Knights that haven't yet been ultimated. But overall, this deck's really powerful. I'm happy of the buff to Jotun Feast Call, because this means that I get to play Feln even more. And the Azindel's Gift here is just a singleton. I could change up whatever you want, really. Could add another power, just put in some Thunderstrong Dragons, but I feel like Azindel's Gift is pretty good still. Though we are playing against a lot of fire-based sort of aggro decks, then against the mid-range decks as well, if they're not able to deploy all of the threats and you are able to play this on them, then you should be in great shape. As well as against Armory, if you are able to deal with like the one threat they've got, because we do have Levitate and In Cold Blood, then if you're able to follow it with like an Azindel's Gift, then they should be finding a really hard time to try and overtake you in the game. We do have the Dark Turns as well, and this is because we can't play Vara anymore, but that's sort of fine. I think we might have stopped playing Vara anyway, just to be a little bit more greedy and play the Jotun Feast Caller. Although Vara's still pretty good when it's just getting back the Sky Harbinger and the Champion of Cunning. But Dark Turn here does quite a lot, because if your opponent like spends a bunch of resources trying to deal with Jotun Feast Call the first time round, or even if you've managed to attack with it, like trade with some number of units, then just Dark Return, you've got a 5/5, and the draw card ability has stayed where it was. So if this was draw 2 or draw 3, whatever it was, when this finally got dealt with, then it's still going to remain that you're able to keep ticking it up. And of course, if you're like some sort of boring human who just wants to win the game really quickly, you can also just Dark Return some like 10/7 like Champion of Cunning and just get the job done in 2 swings. But me, I'm much more into just drawing cards and killing my opponent as slowly as possible. So let's get into those games and see what we can do. That's not the right deck. Let's redraw, see if we get Feln. Still a long deck. That looks a lot worse than Feln. Okay, well here we are on the play with Feln. And I do actually like this hand. This is pretty good. Run the play, so if we're against an Oni Ruin deck, then we do get to just gobble it up with a Vara's Favour. And if our opponent leaves with like a Snow Crust Jet, I might just Levitate just to draw a card. Against the Crest of Vengeance, we're going against the Argenport mid-range deck here. Okay, this is fine. You know, we get to play the Feln banner, play quite slowly. Our opponent plays a Crown Witch Paladin here, then Sabotage. Well, our opponent is probably going to take out a Wisdom of the Elders. But it's also getting no pressure here. Permafrost is probably fine, because this is going to be able to help our Jotun Feast Call to get through. Looks like our opponent's just had an incredibly slow draw here. But we'll play down the Cobalt Waystone just to stop any more sort of nonsense happening here.
My favorite part.
We'll just draw our card. I am just going to play our Feast Caller here. Our opponent's got a Rune Helmet that's sort of fine, because we get to tidy up pretty nicely next turn, because we get to Permafrost this. I use the Vara's Favours to shoot the hammer. But if our opponent just attacks, then I'm pretty much just taking it. A follow-up of Tavrod would be pretty gross, because we don't have any way of like dealing with it right now. This is exactly perfect. This is what I wanted to see, because now we get to Permafrost this. And we don't have to worry about anything. Opponent does have a personal Howling Mine in play now, which is not the best. But I suppose we can feed in time if it gets too much of a problem for us. We're drawing cards too, so it's fine. So let's Permafrost this. So opponent does have finest hour here. So we don't really need to strategize yet. I think we'll Vara's favour here just because I will just draw the card next time for Feln Bloodcaster. I'm not scared.
The touch of shadow.
Now because we have 2 bodies in play, I'm not super concerned about a Rune Hammer to tidy up this, because we'll be able to deal with it with the Feln Bloodcaster, so we don't really need the unit
For the
as
true
much.
queen!
Now this, I'm not getting eaten up by a finest hour here. I would rather just kill your thing with Cold Blood and draw 2 cards. So let's strategize here, and might just be botting him something that we draw. Cold Blood's great. Vara's Favour's probably just going to slow us down a little bit. But if everyone tries to lean on a tabard here, they won't just Cold Blood it. Sabotage to pop the Aegis, sure. Double sabotage, so this is fine here. The player's going to take the Cold Blood.
Defend the throne!
But then here we get to attack in. Our opponent can use the finest hour, turn this into a 5/4. And then we just get to Dark Return this back. I mean, yeah, let's just Levitate this, because if we found like an Annihilate, then I'll just Annihilate it just to keep our thing alive. But yeah, for sure this is fine. Right now, I've actually just got the Champion of Cunning going.
The Feln
So I
show
think I'd
no
rather just have
mercy.
that. Yeah. Dark Return this. Play that next turn, because now we've got 4/5 and a 7/5, so everyone's pretty dead here. Because they'll take 1 damage from this, and then we get to kill them off with the Black Sky Harbinger, just dealing the last point of damage. So yeah, apparently that's how you beat Archbot. They don't draw Tavrod, and you both draw multiple cards a turn. Okay, here around the redraw, just 1 power hand, so I'll just ship it every time. This is much nicer, we should be able to float the power pretty nicely. We've got the Levitate to pop any sort of Aegis. And we are against a Recano deck. This could be Recano Beatdown, could be a Carrier deck. But I would really like a second Black Sky Harbinger in any matchup that plays Seat of Glory. But I would also like to just hit power, so we'll have to be disciplined there and just bottom it. Although we could be forgiven for keeping it, because we do have, if it's bad, we do get to strategize it away.
Unmatched.
But strategize doesn't mean we can just like make loosey-goosey plays. Because Recano is a deck that is pretty capable of just killing you before you get to 6, let alone 7 to play the second one. So yeah, that sucked. We could have potentially killed this with Vara's Favour and Levitate, but I think the plan's just going to be to make a Feln Bloodcaster, keep the board pretty busy here. So I think we probably just block the 3/3 quick draw here. Well, actually, if it's Torch, we block the 2/1. If it's Finest Hour, then it doesn't matter. So I think we'll just block the Crown Witch Paladin here.
Trust in your skills.
Of course, they can fully attack, and then they're not able to attack with this. So, well, the attack's free for them. So we can pop this Aegis to try and draw a Hailstorm. So next step is to draw a Hailstorm for next turn. So Vara's Favour's sort of fine here. Don't really want the Feast Caller. Which I'll just Permafrost this. It keeps the effect in play, which is sort of tedious. But we'll get to block here if our opponent has to show us whatever trick they've got to get through our unit, and then we're just over to Vara's Favour. Well, that's a big blow there. So this is where it sucks. Could have just played the Jotun Feast Call. That would have been real good here. But I think we just going to Vara's favor to kill this. Take 5 in the air, I guess.
The Feln show no mercy.
Yeah, make 5/5. That's my plan. Going to make 5/5 for the next couple of turns. Next turn, we're just going to make the Blast Guy Harbinger, kill this, just gain 4 life or whatever, and then have something that's able to trade with the Crimson Firewall. So if our opponent does use a Vanquish here, then the removal should be fairly limited. I mean, they've probably got like 3 Vanquishes.
No.
Okay, well, we've used the Syndicate already. So the attack here is telling me that they want us to block with the... Yeah, so Finest Hour and Torch still gets the trade here. There's Torch, which is sort of fine, so it's better than block there, just lose our units and get anywhere. And although we still would have just tidied stuff up, well, this is actually just better. Yeah, Hailstorm and then Vara's Favour on this. Now we're not attacking because our opponent does have a card in the deck called Whirling Duo, and the 2/5 does a good job of blocking that. Hopefully our opponent didn't get like a million war cries on it from the... Well, it's dragon in time. My dragon's better than your dragon as long as you don't have Vanquish or Valkyrie Enforcer. But yeah, the bigger version of Ricano deck is pretty scary because just being able to play like a bunch of this like idiots on the ground and then just all of a sudden just having a Crimson Firewall is absolutely absurd. I think I'm actually not blocking there because if that's 5 power, then it's not fine there. Things can be cheaper. They've already got 5 power in play. Like, they've got 3 cards in hand, like for sure, so they might be able to double spell earlier than they would have otherwise.
Let's dance.
Well, this will definitely get to keep getting my 4.
Feln show no mercy.
Then Paul's going to block this 4/4. Might even block the 5/4 now. So I'm not sure. I also want to, because we are gaining 4 return, just not block. That also seems pretty fine. Probably I'm just going to double block this though, actually, yeah. So it's a block with 7 points, so it is Finest Hour or Torch, we still get to kill this. Our opponent doesn't have the lifesteal unit anymore. Inquisitor's Blade is a bit of a nuisance. Deep Forge Plate, ouch. So let's just get rid of this. So we really need to find some actual hard removal here. So we do have Annihilate, In Cold Blood, and Feeding Time. There we go. So, as always, be lucky, you know. That works very well with also being good. So this might be a good attack. Because we're 10 now, so if our opponent does draw another Whirling Joe, it's not going to kill us.
Let's dance.
Ricano's weapons are unmatched.
But no, most of the bleeding is over. Okay, well, we don't get to hold up the Levitate.
The Feln show no mercy.
So game 4 here, go to a level 1. Then next turn we get to Feeding Time if they do another like big weapon.
Defend the throne!
Crest just will draw the Levitate, and I think that'll probably do the game for us. So we get to Levitate here, pop this Aegis. Hailstorm to kill our opponent's board. I've got a 2/5 blocker, as well as just like very lethal air, because the Feln Champion Shadow side is going to start to trigger and just make our units just huge. Okay, so here we are on the play as well. This hand's pretty bad. But if we do get to make the Jotun Feast Caller on curve and annihilate whatever was trying to block it, could be in pretty good shape. I do tend to prefer to like more power heavy hands because our hand's pretty, well, our deck's pretty power hungry and we do have to strategize if we do flood. But I think ultimately this should be a redraw, but I'm just going to keep it just to see where we can go with this. Not a big fan of the US card back there. Oh boy, so our opponent's misfilled Drake does. So this is perhaps a mirror that's playing Misfilled Drake, or our opponent is going to be playing some sort of ward wielder technology. Well, if opponent plays Ward Wielder, I mean, I assume we'll just annihilate it. There's not really many other Aegis payoffs yet.
You'll never catch me alive!
Yeah, that's fine. It's like the old False Prince technology. Don't really mind. We've got enough power that we don't really need the Shadow Source from here. Because we're just going to lead on the Jotun Feast Caller into this Harbinger.
You'll never catch me alive!
I'm going to assume that our mono Primal opponent doesn't have a killer effect.
Let us feast!
I think these stack up pretty badly as well. I think if you have two of these in play and you play one spell, they both sacrifice. I mean, this as a May ability is probably absolutely absurd. But I do like the design space that they've got to here. Because the Cobalt does have a synergy with other cards, like the Shepherd's Horn, that sort of stuff. Yeah, I'm happy with this. Hailstorm feels like it's not going to be good in this matchup, so just free power slay your thing seems like a decent spot to be in. More Hailstorm good. Well, if I put us on like the mono Daring Pioneer, then we should be all over this matchup, just with being able to turn these Hailstorms into actual spells. Though maybe our opponent's got like Magus of the Mist or something, which could be pretty rough. I can't remember how much Mistveil Drake actually costs to play, so I'm hoping it's 7, so we don't have to deal with it next turn. Okay, so it must be 7, which is sort of fine, because that means that we get to set with Harbinger to ping it to kill the Aegis, then we get to just annihilate it.
You'll never catch me alive!
So, Mistveil Drake is only a 6/6 if you have Aegis. So I was still tempted to annihilate this, but I think I'll just start turn. I'll do the old Hailstorm again just to slay this. Attack here, draw like a million cards. Only 2? Now next turn will be 8, so we'll be able to pop both Aegises with the Harbinger and we'll be able to annihilate Mistveil Drake. This Mistveil Drake's a sweet card. I've played it like when people were playing a lot of Burn. This was good because you could Celestial Omen for it. And of course, like, don't be playing Celestial Omen against Burn, but it was just like a way to counter sort of obliterated huge fire blasts. And of course, in the mirror, it's pretty tasty as well, because you do get to Omen for it, like in response to a gift being made. But I feel like our opponents ran into a rough matchup here because we just are mono doesn't care about Aegis deck. But for this spot, it's going to be a Vara's Favour this into like Permafrost it.
The touch of shadow.
If we have enough power, we can still play the Black Sky, but also if we just draw a champion, we could just play that instead. So I'm pretty sure we've got it. I probably could have something like a Magus of the Mist, which is in Mono Primal, pretty good, but unfortunately we do have the Hailstorm save, so we'll tidy that up. Yeah. Opponent must be figuring out perhaps some way of surviving. Well, it's pretty rough to be able to come back from a Jotun Feast Caller that's been able to attack like multiple times. Okay, here we are on the play again, and I think this sounds probably actually okay. We should be able to find like the third power because we do have the Strategize. And I've just got like the Levitate into Hailstorm if we really need that. So I think we'll keep it. Especially as we're on the play, we should be under a little bit less pressure here. And Hailstorm should be really backbreaking if we're just against a fire-based beatdown deck. And Agipar, so Sabotage here is probably just going to take the Hailstorm. I'll have to go for the Strategize, which is probably wise because you can tell that we've only got 2 power in hand.
send a message.
Just annihilate this, just get this out of the way. There's sort of an argument there just for Levitating to draw as a card deeper and try and find that power.
Touch of
Gambling there,
shadow.
not taking the Hailstorm seems pretty rough as well. Now we just get to Wisdom Elders, which is brilliant.
Embrace the shadow.
Yep. Sure, when I'm playing Agipot, I do prefer the Traitor, although that's probably a little bit wrong, but I do like this just because I get to Permafrost it. Got Face Aegis, so we protect it from quite a lot, and now we've established a clock against the opponent. Although our opponent can Valkyrie Enforcer to free this for a bit, Permafrost.
Embrace the shadow.
Okay, now we've got a real clock on our opponent. We're dealing them 2 damage a turn. Yeah, makes more sense now our opponent's getting to Hailstorm. So it's like their hand just didn't line up in a way that cared about it. But I think they should have perhaps taken the Wisdom Elders rather than the Strategize.
Embrace the shadow.
Defend the throne!
We're going to draw some cards here. We're going to take 5 this turn. Ooh, nice. So next turn we get to double Hailstorm, which is going to be absolutely fantastic. They're taking a bit of damage here, but as long as our opponent doesn't have like a tablet here just to follow it, then we should be in reasonable shape. Yeah, so just Levitate here. Just for the purpose of drawing a card, really. We would double pop anyway because of the double Hailstorm here. We do have to sacrifice our... turn so we don't have to play the Feast Call for free. Let's just pop both of these. We have to sacrifice our clock on the opponent though, sadly. And the Sig Power there, I should have got a Shadow Source, but I was just sort of on autopilot and just naturally going for the one that I can't.
Trust in your skills.
But it seemed fine anyway because we've got the Seer coming. I think the Feast Call right now.
Little brothers.
Just even if our opponent is able to block it with whatever here, I'll kill the Rune Hammer to be able to get back that return. Well, this turn I think I'm just going to pop it off with the Black Sky Harbinger. And then as we've got so much power, well, Crest first just to farm it off. Yep, Strategize is great. As we've got so much power, I don't feel like we need to dark return here. So we can just do it whenever. I think maybe if our opponent kills this, I'd like to have this back. So maybe this is the double sabotage turn. Maybe our opponent's just not realised that we've had a Face Aegis. I've definitely done that a few times.
Sharpen those horns.
Well, now we get to Strategize. We'll do a lot of ways of dealing with the actual tableau here. Well, Primal Sigil. Now let's get the champion of Cunning here. I think now we'll just trade off here with the Tavrod. So 7-5, eating up there 5-7. And then I'll just Dark Return just to get it back. So this will depend on what they get here. So I'm sort of hoping that this is just a Minotaur and it's not a Tavrod. So what else was it? So we don't get any information there because it's just 4 powers. But I can't leave the Tavrod just to go hammer here. So 9-1 Hammer is something I'm sort of fine with here because this just means that I was going to Dark Return back to Black Sky Harbinger. We'll kill the Hammer and then blank this. But first off, let's Levitate, draw a card, see if this impacts our decision anyway. Not really. I'm just going to get back a 7-6 Harbinger, which should be able to push the game pretty quickly here. So we're just really rewarded for that patience with the Dark Return.
My favorite part.
Okay, so now just get to Annihilate this. This opponent is going to be unlikely to be able to make a real comeback here. And then I'm always going to Dark Return the champion because Hydroport isn't a deck that you can really just mess around with.
Feln show no mercy.
Like, it can just actually just kill you, so we can't mess around by just making a 5/5 drop piece call here. We just have to put them dead as soon as possible. Okay, well, we're on the play here, and this sounds really good for playing against Beatdown, because we just get to like establish a feast, well, a Bloodcaster into a Hailstorm later on the Feast Caller. So I think this is actually a key. I do think this is one of the situations where you do want to Crest first, just because it'll let us play everything we've got, so it could go Annihilate into whatever free drop, but also I don't really care what my opponent's on. I'm just going to keep a power on top, because I just want to really be able to hit our power. So Feln is perhaps slightly better deck here, because it doesn't really matter what the opponent's up to. I just want to hit power like pretty much every single turn up to about 5 or 6, and that's when I'm just going to be enabled to just deploy all of our threats here.
It's all
Okay, so this is the revenge deck. I'm not going to bother using Annihilate on this. I prefer just to set a Bloodcaster in front of it. And Bloodcaster should be able to do some work against this deck, although I can very easily see this deck just being able to go so far ahead of us. I've not got an idea of what we need, so Bloodcaster Harbinger is probably going to be a nice follow-up to the Feast Caller, because our opponent just have a lot of X1s in the deck. And X1 is something with like whatever power and just 1 toughness. So from here, I think we've already got the Cobalt Waystone here. I'm going to grab the Shadow just in case we do find a champion. But I am going to sit back with the Bloodcaster here. Next turn, I'm just going to turtle up with the Waystone into the Feast Caller.
You're in the Crown Watch now.
Yeah, let's get rid of this. We can tidy that up later on the Hailstorm, but I don't think there's many actual Annihilate targets in that deck. So I'll just keep things out of the way until we get the Feast Caller anyway.
Let us feast!
Now, if our opponents just sort of go ham here with like a bunch of top ticks and all sort of X1 nonsense, we do get to pop it up with the Bloodcaster Harbinger.
Run, cowards! You cannot hide!
Right. Well, looks like we are going to trade with this Macto temporarily.
The touch of shadow.
And our next turn is probably going to be spent just trying to spike the Macto off the top of our opponent's deck.
Here's another
By
recruit.
ultimating the Feln Bloodcaster here. Might be desperately trying to grab the Max off the top of the deck here. Piercing Reef is sort of fine. The Piercing Reef does attack and probably not very well. No thanks. Just let them have the free. Pretty sure just 1 power, they've just got nothing they could do there. It will be able to kill our Bloodcaster, but we just need to keep the Bloodcaster alive pretty much at all costs here. Price Press Gang is not quite what we're looking for. Just a free for 4. Would have much rather have spiked the Macto, but maybe the Macto is something they put on the bottom. Just because it's better to have it on the bottom than for us to have it. Well, I'm going to grab the 5th Primal Sigil for in case we do find the champion. But let's just keep this board nice and tidy. Our opponent's not going to have any ages in the deck, so the Levitate's just going to be draw a card like at some point. Probably on our opponent's turn here. Yeah, let's get this up in the air. I'd like to find an in cold blood or a feeding time just for when we do find like that champion, well, the Macto in play. And we found the champion. We should be able to turn the corner.
Feln show no mercy.
Fairly reasonably here. Keep the fast favorite hand exposed. And there we go. There's the Macto. So it was like the
There is no escape. Run, cowards! You cannot hide!
So what do we have in the bin? We've got the Feln Bloodcaster and Joe Feast Caller with draw 2 on it. So I think that might be fine. Don't really want to trade our units for our opponent's Mactos here. We'll just get the feast call down as a 5/5 there.
Little brothers, let us feast!
So is this the point where we'll just like fire off the Vara? What? I should have been paying attention. No shadow sigils left. I see a world where we're just able to tag team these together. This could just be a harsh world, but I'm not super interested. I'm just going to take 3. I think if it was really a harsh world, there'd be attack here for 2 Mactos as well. I'm just grabbing a Piercing Grief here just to draw a card.
Join.
But I could have just got a free attack. Well, here's the Witching Hour. So the kill wall's going to not have much in the way of good attacks, but I suppose that's what our opponent was trying to set up then. Well, unfortunately for our opponent, we do get to Hailstorm. Harbinger. I'm aware that we could have gained like a little bit extra lives there, but I just played the Harbinger first, but I'm just used to this sequencing just like as a sort of muscle memory thing. So I'm playing this deck where they have like things like Torch. Hailstorm no effects, just in the mode here where I do just want to... Yeah, I just want to find like in cold blood just to get rid of these guns. I could just gain 10 here, just snowball, but I feel like our opponent's just going to be trying to just do that Witching Hour trick again. Yeah, so here's another cheap Witching Hour. So now with 2 kills, they get to kill 1 thing. Well, let's strategize here. Probably just going to bottom this Crest Crest can because it's not doing anything for it. It's better than power? Probably not. We can actually use the power here. So let's just levitate here just to draw a card, get us a little bit deeper. Okay, well. Let's put this in the bin here. We can get double blocked on something, but get to gain a bunch of lives. So none of our opponent's units fly here, so we're in pretty good shape for attacking. Our opponent's gone through 3 Witching Hours now, so I think if our opponent does attack here, it's basically just a free block. But I'm not sure I'll get rid of the thing that isn't just going to be sacrificed at the next turn anyway.
This ends!
Actually, that's pretty good because it gets to unlock the Macto from our opponent's deck. Well, our next turn is just going to be playing Ultimate this. And Devour isn't quite what I was looking for there.
It's all your fault.
I now have no cards in our opponent's hand. It's just a block there. There's no other nonsense going.
Little brothers.
I feel there's a lot of 5 power things we can draw here, so just sacrifice off the Bloodcaster. And there we go. There's the in cold blood that if a Macto turns up now, hopefully they don't cascade into each other because that'd just be the worst.
Run, cowards! You cannot hide.
There we go. In cold blood. Worst card in the game.
Personal.
Let's see how many our opponent was playing here. So they're playing the full playset. Going to draw a card. So the game's not over because I think we just have a lot of grindy pieces left. But I'm just going to draw a bunch of cards here. Try to have like a dark turn to get one of our champions back. Additional feast call here is probably going to do the job.
Little brothers.
8 power in play and we just draw like 4 cards next turn. Yeah, just turn that so our opponent's just got like less ammunition to play with. get back this big old champion.
The Feln show no mercy!
And then now assuming our opponent just like misses for our turn, then we should be able to kill him next turn. Because we have 26 power. Okay, so that was Feln Feastum. And this deck's still just good. Like, at the beginning of the ladder, this is one of the decks I do like to play, as I feel like it's got a lot of play against a lot of beatdown decks, as well as just being able to grind out any of the more controlling decks, because your biggest threats do have Aegis, and with the little bit of Dark Turn here, then we do get to keep bringing them back and just eventually grind our opponents out. As you can see, even managed to beat the Revenge Hour deck, which I thought was going to be pretty rough, because they do have Macto, which outside of like In Cold Blood and Fiend Times, pretty difficult to deal with, and they've just got so many targets for the In Cold Blood with the Stone Powered Alchemist and the Crouch Press Gangs just being like must answer threats. Otherwise, they would be able to either burn you out with the Stone Powered Alchemist, like infinitely coming back with Dark Turn, or they will just be able to draw so many cards with the Crouch Press Gangs that it's just unlikely for you to be able to pull ahead, but we just managed to get there, so that was nice. Even managing to beat 3 Witching Hours, and I think that's got to be a real feat, because I don't think I've ever lost in a game where I've cast more than 1 Witching Hour, but fortunately we just managed to get there. Also, this is like another spot where we've just got like a bunch of really potent free drops, and I know the community doesn't really like Feln Bloodcaster. I think that's why that's probably the lowest number on the frees that we do have here, but I think in a bunch of matchups this is actually really good. And although the 5-base beatdown decks have changed a little bit, and now this isn't just like going to eat up one of their things every turn, like some of the things just do bounce, like the Whirling Joe. I think it's still really powerful, as well as in the late game just like paying 10 power to make our body that draws you 2 cards. It's still pretty sick. And we saw in the last game though, we just tried to mise hitting our opponent's Macto, and unfortunately we did miss. I think it was a couple of cards further down, but those sort of stories are the things that I like in cards. I like cards that can generate a story that you can go and tell your friends. You just be like, you know, oh man, this thing I just did now, or, you know, just send in a screenshot in the Discord, just like, look at this absurd thing I've just done. So any card that does that sort of thing is good in my book. I think that Feln's probably going to gain quite a lot from the new expansion, especially with the Rindra's Choice, which is probably good for us as well as against us, as it is able to count feeding times as well as being able to kill Champion Cunning. But for us, it's just a 2-power answer to Tarot, and you don't have to just be sat there for all these 4-power answers, which, you know, are really vulnerable to sabotage and that sort of thing. Through the power of the internet, we've been able to add the Rindra's Choice to the video here, so you should be able to see that. And this was spoiled by a friend of the show, Notorious GHP, and fellow teammate. And I think Rindra's Choice is going to be really good for this deck, because not only is it going to be able to help us kill enemy units that are a real pain, and just having a 2-power answer to Champion of Fury is just going to be absolutely absurd. And of course there's going to be more cards spoiled, so there's going to be more things for us to have to deal with. There's going to be more things for us to be able to enter into our deck, but I feel like right now I would be really happy to have this, as it negates all the things that are a bit of a problem for you. So cards like Stand Together, even cards like Island's Choice, if there's any like multicoloured harsh rules that are going to be coming, or any sort of multicoloured faction units that are on the same power level as Tarot, that's going to be really helpful there as well. So I'm looking forward to Rindra's Choice. But thanks for watching. I've been That Resolves, and this was Feastum Feln.